Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Happy Wednesday, April 23rd. And we have a new surprise for you. Tracker has a new mic.
I
Oh my
do.
God, it's amazing.
I finally Matt said, the YouTubers kept complaining about the microphone quality, so Matt recommended a brand of microphone, and I got the cheapest one of this, better brand, and it's right in my I'm basically eating the microphone as I talk to you now, so hopefully Matt says it sounds a lot better.
Oh, yeah, it's way, way better. It's amazing.
Good
You
morning,
guys can
Golden Turd
comment in the
Shoot.
chats if you like it too.
Yeah, if you like the microphone, let me know. So yeah, well, exciting things for Bitcoin. My bet on Bitcoin a couple days ago or yesterday is paying off, and yeah, I actually got out a little bit too soon out of some of my positioning. Yesterday, I was afraid Bitcoin was going to claw back some of its gains overnight, but instead, it went up again another like almost 3% after market close yesterday. Oh, Crispy says paired or says Oz. How much better? Thank you. All right. So without further ado, why don't you take us out here, Matt?
Yeah, so let's take a look at the indices first. Oh, crispy, yes. Um, let's see here. So yeah, what happened yesterday? Well, the weekly cloud, the bottom of the cloud touched perfectly for the SPY, and it bounced and it reclaimed all that support, and then it went higher. So I did talk about that possibility. How if it got back above the 523, it'll go back towards the 548. So that's exactly what we're doing. There is the weekly conversion line in the way though, 542. So we could be running into that pretty soon. But really, there is no change, no scaries, right? As long as it stays inside of this weekly Ichimoku cloud, I think everything will be okay, right? Everything will just be normal and just looking for direction. And until either the top of the cloud breaks or the bottom of the cloud breaks, then we'll discuss that then. But right now, there's no need to assume otherwise because support did hold perfectly right down there and bounce where it should. So let's watch that 523 still hold and go up towards the 548. And the QQQ, this also wicked down a little bit further yesterday below the cloud, but the cloud held, right? And now it's getting closer and closer back to the 1.272 fib, 465.03. So I think that's the resistance number to watch. It does have a lot more room to go up there. It's only at 457, so it could go up like a little bit more to 465. And yeah, as long as it stays inside the cloud, not too concerned about it right now. And IWM, it's below the weekly cloud here, but this one got punished a lot more severely than everything else. But now the important thing is it's actually breaking back above a fib level, which is good to see because for the past 3 weeks, it could not break above that 189.33 at all. It wicked above a little bit, but it could not break above. And now we have the chance to actually close this week back above it, get closer to the cloud. But I think the important development here for the IWM is the monthly chart. And the monthly chart is actually getting back towards the top of the monthly cloud. And guess what? The monthly candle close is in 7 days and 8 hours. So creating this long, giant wick down here would actually be really, really nice for IWM. A big look up, finally touching that 100-month moving average, which it never did before. Right here in October 2023, it never really touched it. So finally, we got that touch. We got that over with. So maybe this is why we went down there so deep because it missed it there. So it got it here, and now we have the opportunity to actually close the month back above the cloud, back above the 382. And continue this healthy trend, right? Staying above this monthly Ichimoku cloud is extremely bullish for the IWM. So it's just building a base on top of it. And it looks like it finally got its higher low. So I'm not too concerned with this at all. And like I said yesterday, I'm more optimistic about the month of May. I think we're going to see some good developments here in the coming weeks, in the coming months. And it just looks like crypto is going to be leading the way as well. So speaking of crypto, can talk about the Bitcoin chart here. And the Bitcoin chart is breaking levels, right? This is turning into one big bullish engulfing candle that's cutting through multiple levels. And let's look what it's breaking above, right? So it opened the week below that conversion line. So it's breaking above that, the baseline breaking above that, the 45-degree angle breaking above that, and this 1.414, it's breaking above that. So I think with all this volatility, this is all I really care about. I want to see the weekly candle close back above this 91,158. And if we get that, then that's flipping this major support zone back to a support because it lost it for a couple months there, but it would regain it and it would be clear skies basically back to the 100,000 zone, maybe even the blue arc up here in the 113. So I think we're looking at something really, really explosive, but we got to get through this week first and close that 91,158. So looks really, 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 really good. Tracker?
Yeah, I'm really happy about this too. Gosh, everything looks really good. What do I want to say? Yesterday, I'm sorry I was so dour about the SPY and the market in general. Yeah, let me just show you that VIX chart that I was pointing at yesterday. And you know, this I kind of was tracking this trend, and I thought that we're going to see the VIX back up here, but no, down, and even today it gapped down again. So everyone's like, "Ooh, let's buy stuff." I might have to move my fear line up a little bit, maybe to there. So it's like we're under fear and closing in towards greed. Uh, yeah, market seems happier. Uh, Trump's making a lot of noise about tariffs won't be so extreme, and deals left and right all around the world. Um, my Bitcoin chart, I posted some of these. I posted something this morning talking about where I was looking for resistance and support. We got basically, let's go to a 4-hour chart version of this. From this bottom down here at 74,434, it kind of did an A, B, a real tight A, B. And so if we got a measured move of the A equaling the this part of it, I literally just took this, I copied it and drug it up here and put the bottom of it at the B. And so it points to this measured move, 95,000, whoops, 118. And you can see that the market has also got its sell order block. We're all the way in through it right now, but it seems to want to sell right up to that. Um, and then on the other hand, going from this recent top of 109 down to that 74,000, kind of doing an ABC 382,236, 618. That 618 is 96,016, and that was a number I was giving you guys yesterday. I thought it could go to 96,000. 016 right here, and that's where the C is. So let's see if it, and then, of course, 2 ways isn't enough. A third way is if it did a Fibonacci extension. So off this bottom here, this is the wave 1 at 83,565, wave 2 down to 78,424, and then wave 3, 1, 2. This is subwave 1, subwave 2 in this AB, and then all wave 3 tops out where we topped out this morning. Well, this is an unusual move. Usually it wouldn't go higher than the 1382, but obviously it went as high as the 1764. So if that topped out, then the wave 4 could come back down here to 189,710. I don't know. Matt will tell you something a little bit different. Maybe I don't know if he's going to show this other chart that he's got or not, but basically, we went above, the bullish engulfing candle, went over some important levels, and maybe it doesn't need to come back any lower than 91,000. So, and that would be where this 4-hour Ichimoku conversion line is right now at the bottom of this sell order block. So anyway, overall, what you want to hear from me is the longer term version of this. Which is, I think that it really all of this is trying to do, and this hasn't changed. I'm looking for a wave 3, or actually this is a wave 5, sub 1 of 109,000 back to maybe 96,000, and then on up to 143,000 back to 130,000, and then my wave 5 finishes out this cycle somewhere between 180,000 and 200,000. That's what I'm looking at for this whole cycle, and it looks like we're finally on our way. So, um, it was the bullish engulfing candles going up. You know, don't be surprised if you do see some sort of retrace of like 50% or 61.8% of that candle. I'm trying to find that candle. Is it on the daily? No, on the weekly. Matt will show you, but basically, you know, you could look for it to come back. 50% would be 89,570, but hopefully it doesn't have to come back that far. All right, sorry, that's a lot of talk about Bitcoin, but we're really bullish on it. I did move a lot of stuff out of stocks and into, let's see, BitX, and it looks like BitX from the way I charted it, it could have topped out with this A. Um, B would bring it back to $39, and then C would take it to $56 almost. And then XRP and XXRP is like a 2x of XRP, which I like a lot, and I'm in this also. Thing about XRP and MSTX or MicroStrategy and Coin is that they're so suppressed, they might coast higher for a while to catch up with how Bitcoin's moving now. So just Bitcoin, maybe if Bitcoin stops and starts to retreat, don't necessarily expect MicroStrategy, Coinbase, or XRP to do the exact same thing. They might keep coasting for a while higher before they start reacting because they're trying to catch up. There, that's I said my piece on that. How about Matt? Do you have any counterpoints on what I just
No,
said?
no, not really. I think both are in the position of doing well. So yeah, I think we're going to be seeing some great things with everything Bitcoin related. To be honest, so
Yeah,
but yeah,
and it's
we can
interesting.
move on. Go ahead.
So, I've long said that Tesla price action follows Bitcoin action for some reason. I don't know if it's just because of liquidity or whatever. There's a a what's the word? There's a sort of a confluence between the two of them, kind of a not a causal relationship, a coincidental relationship between them. Um, anyway, so this is the channel that I've been kind of following Tesla down from its top up here at 488.54 and break out of the top of the channel, it teases up, and now it's just teasing out of it again. So if it can break out above the monthly center pivot at 258.51, that would be fantastic, and maybe it can just keep going higher. But I'm kind of expecting max pain is 240 reported this morning on maximum-pain.com, and the weekly center pivot is down here at 245. So I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of pushed back down today. We got some sell off in Tesla, and we ended up near 245 by the end of the week. But like I said, or if it can get over 258, then yeah, maybe it can keep going. I honestly didn't have a lot of expectations for yesterday's earnings. I didn't. I'm sad to say I didn't even listen to the earnings report. I was going to go back and watch the condensed version of it. But it looks like Tesla got a bounce, and yeah, I think big bounce, small bounce, oscillation. It's still kind of stuck in uh, this little triangle here. Further notice, it could still be kind of stuck inside this. So that's all I have to say about Tesla in the short term. In the long term, same thing I've been telling you for a while. Some people are asking, like, how's Bitcoin going to do? Or I'm sorry, how's Tesla going to do by the summer? And it looks like the Ichimoku weekly cloud is the 370s, 380 by end of July. But at minimum, if it gets stuck under here, it's 315 under the cloud. All right, that's all I've got to say about Tesla for now. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I'll pull up my Tesla chart here, and yeah, so this the symmetry has been working perfectly, and just like I said yesterday, when I was looking at this chart, I was telling you how it's just going to gravitate towards the angle, going to gravitate towards the arc, and pre-market, it's above both, right? It's doing exactly as I expected it to do, and also when you turn on the Ichimoku cloud, it's getting back above the cloud, and if it does continue strong throughout the week, it can actually try to climb the cloud out of here in the weeks to come and get a lot more bullish. So things are developing nicely, and especially when you look at the monthly chart too, It's very similar how I was talking about. It's maintaining the top of that monthly cloud and how it's possible to go to the 213, but it kind of already did that a few weeks ago. So it wasn't that necessary to go back and retest it, but it could have, but it didn't. So it's also maintaining the top of the monthly cloud, kind of like the IWM, really. And it does have the potential to just stay on top of this angle and the arc here. So I'll be watching both in the weeks to come to see if it can just maintain both of them, right? But I think the most important thing to take away here is going back to the weekly chart here. Let's go to weekly chart. The most important takeaway, in my opinion, is trying to just stabilize on top of this angle here. So even if it does cut through the cloud, I would like to see it just maybe do something like this, right? Just like that and go higher, because we have seen it go through the weekly cloud before, but it maintained that angle and went above the cloud again. So I think the most important thing is market symmetry for Tesla, not so much these levels as we experienced on the way down and cut through all these major support levels one at a time, but it always maintained market symmetry. In fact, the market top was that green level, right? And then we got to the bottom of this zone here, which was the bottom. So that this angle has been the bottom every single time, right? Back in January 2023, it was the bottom. It was the bottom back in earnings a year ago, exactly, right? It did get the liquidity below it, but it bounced and it was the bottom. And then it was the bottom right here back in August 5th of 2024 during that carry trade, right? So it's always been the bottoming range. So I think this is the most important thing to look at, and people can be skeptical all they want, but it's been proven throughout time that this angle has been a very important indicator of everything. So I will be watching that more than the Ichimoku cloud. So I don't really care if it goes underneath it or not. I just wanted to maintain the market symmetry. So far it is, and it's doing exactly as I expected.
Yeah, sorry, this is what Matt's showing you is it we didn't get the V-shaped recovery that I was hoping for. This is sort of what I think of as a kind of a K-shaped recovery. And so but I like the way Matt's got it drawn here, sort of your minimum expectations following the line up, underneath the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly chart. Oh, there's Cantonese cat.
He called me the bottom. Uh-oh.
Hi, cat.
I meant to
Oh,
say,
he
hey
says, "I'm
guys.
hey, guys." That's so funny.
uh, to answer Lewis, is it worth shorting Tesla in the short term? I don't think so. Right. I don't like to short support, and I don't like to short in a bullish trend. And despite all the downward pressure recently, it still isn't a bullish trend. Right. I mean, some day traders like to go in and out and short and do that. That's not my style. I don't know if that's tracker style either, but I think when you're at a support zone, the risk of shorting it and hoping it breaks that support is just what it is. It's hopium, right? You're hoping it goes lower. Technically speaking, it's not proving it wants to go lower. But if you were to short something, it would be to short it at resistance. Like every time in the past when it got to that arc, yeah, you could short it, right? You could short it. But right now, it's just holding support. So I would never short a support zone, but you could try shorting resistance unless it breaks. So
Yeah, exactly what Matt said. That's exactly how you handle that. Should we short gold, though?
yeah, I can take a look at gold real quick. I was actually looking at it the other day, and
How
a
can you
couple of
not look
things
at
with gold.
it? It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Gold. Yeah, so my gold chart here, I wanted to point out the monthly GAN that I have created for gold, and it almost got to the top arc here and got rejected pretty massively. So I think we are at a point where price has potential to start to go back down, and we can go pull up this fib from back in 2011. And I think it's really important to watch this linear scale fib right here because it's now back below this 2.618. So that is something to pay attention to because it cannot get above it, right? It tried so hard like yesterday, and now it's like failing that level. So this 33.35, if it closes the week below it and closes multiple weeks below it, then you know what? It's probably going to go back down to the 3,000 level and maybe retest that zone, right? You can just ignore these lines here. They don't make any, they're linear scale. So yeah, this is the main thing I'm watching, this 33.35. So can't break above, then gold has probably topped. So would I short it here? I mean, that's just kind of risky in my opinion because it could break out above. I like to short on confirmations that things want to be more bearish, and right now this is a very bullish chart, so I don't like to short bullish charts.
Show us that Ichimoku cloud again that you just did. That's where I kinda look at for like, oh, if it's gonna pull back, how far down is that cloud? Oh, it's really far away.
Yeah, the conversion line's even at 2,900, and the baseline, like, it's almost a straight line to the conversion line, so it just went parabolic,
Yeah,
and maybe that's what we'll see Bitcoin do now, go parabolic. Maybe they're gonna start selling gold and buying Bitcoin, who knows? And then that will just be a counter trade right there.
that's so funny. Do I really sound that much like Britney Spears? I don't think I can do, I can't sing Toxic, but thanks for thanks for requesting it. That's so funny.
Why don't you join, Kat? We can send you the link. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. He's
Alright.
on a ship. He's on a boat.
Yeah, that's true. With his flippy floppies.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you wanna talk about, you mentioned a little birdie whispered Enphase into my ear this morning, and I see there's a
Oh,
request
yeah.
is
Yeah, Enphase, I love the reaction after earnings because it's kinda confirming what I thought the whole time, and that is going back down to this, Fibonacci level. So I'll just take off this GAN right here, and the GAN doesn't really matter right now because the fibs are taking center stage, and it's basically this 1.2 sub extension, which basically from this 2014 high to the low, it just broke out above the 1.618, and now it's back testing the very first fib extension again, where it did stall out for a few months. You can see these are monthly candles here, just a few months it stalled out. And it looks really, really nice. Even when you go to the weekly chart, I think it looks better that way because all of this was a previous like resistance, broke out to the 1.414, back tested it, and now we're doing another back test of that. So yeah, any chance it gets closer to 44, I think is the opportunity. But in my opinion, this is starting to look like a bottoming process. And I think it's been a long bear market since 2022, and it's finally going to have its fun. So whether it's 48, 44, I don't think it really matters too much, but I think it's going to be doing well. This is a bottoming process, in my opinion, and I think it has the potential to go back to the 70s, the hundreds, and even the 130s above. It's probably going to be a nice chart in later 2025 and 2026.
all right. I've got, CLS for, person who requested it, Jay Gonzalez. All right, so I just wanna show you, like, how I was looking at this thing before we had the whole, market correction. Back then, it really looked like this was my 1-2, and, this thing was on its way up to at least the 764. They got into the 618, and then what happened? Well, the market correction. So, after making a slightly higher high, it also made a lower low. So now I delete all of this. Goodbye. And I just, adjust my wave 1, wave 2. So now this is the wave 1 top, which is higher, that's nice, but the wave 2 is lower. Um, and, now it does look like the market gives us opportunities to re-enter something and, make some good profit out of it. So if I just do that conservative, 5 subwaves up, this is wave 3 sub 1 to say the 382. See, the market wants something to do something else. To the 236, to the 1 long wave 3, 764, and then 2236. It looks like the market wants to test the 50% level. Well, that's for the top of this, the top of this sell order block. So I would say still look for this 97.79 as resistance first. Uh, we've already gotten over this 82.60, which is great, or just about over it. So yeah, 18% higher to $97.79. If it keeps going, like you could sell half your position and then see if it goes up to here, then sell the other half, and then see if it doesn't make 97.39 support instead. But for right now, I'd just say look for 18% higher, then it kind of comes test back to where it is now, and then after that, it would potentially go 125% higher, 124% higher. So yeah, CLS looks like a good risk reward right where it's at right again. And that's my CLS analysis.
Very good. Very good. So you got what about a HIMS? Do you have a HIMS chart?
Yeah, let's see. Kept hearing about HIMS yesterday, but I didn't actually go back and look at it myself. On my 8-hour chart, so here is this large 1, large 2, and I'm looking for this 32236 happening in here. And so, yeah, it's still at a good place to enter because it's just sort of been stuck under this 11.4 to lift off. But once it gets going, it's funny how the market's set up here. They're just looking at these previous top outs, but it should at least get to 36.58. At one point, this was my cost basis. I'm actually out of HIMS right now. I took the money and put Bitcoin related stuff. But yeah, it still looks a good risk reward to resist at $36.58, and then hopefully 45.27 after that, and then come back down to 36.58 for support. So 66% higher to $45.27. That just like, I mean, in other words, buying it down here under 36.58 looks like a good risk reward setup. And then eventually, hopefully, you can get something like 165% higher from that 36.58, or also in the longer, this medium term, 250% higher from where it is right now. So there you go. HIMS looks like a good place to good risk reward setup to enter in.
Yeah, I'm just watching that 25 level basically, and I want it to hold. If it doesn't hold, then I'll be a little bit more cautious on it. But if it continues to hold, then it has an optimistic chance. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at the most for HIMS. But I can do a coin here. I see BNB Binance coin. I'll just do that one.
Sure. I
And
just
here it
want to say
is.
real
Here's
quick
my
that,
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. HIMS did make a lower low than its previous wave too, so that does make it a little scary. So yeah, like Matt said, maybe make sure that that $25 level holds. Maybe you could put a stop under 24. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a little bit in a precarious situation, so it's got to hold levels so it maintains that momentum. Yeah, for the most part. So yeah, now I'll go to BNB Binance Coin. Here's the GAN for it. It's beautiful. Like it was kind of a straight line from this green level GAN right here, broke out straight line to the green level, and then sideways for a long time. But now we're on top of this green level again, so everything got flipped to a support. So now it's very, very nice. We're looking nicer and nicer and nicer, and we can see that that level is really around 568. So just maintain that, and I think it goes higher. And I think not only that, there's a couple of confluence of support in that zone too. You can just pull up a fib from the previous high here to the low, and that's also the 2.272 zone too. That is maintaining the 475 right up here. So lots of confluence of support. It looks good. It looks like it wants to go higher, but it's more stable than some of the other coins out there. So it might take some time to break into all-time highs, but I think the trend is your friend, and I think it wants to gravitate higher towards the 800s, 900s, thousands above in the future. So yeah, BNB looks really, really good at these levels. And I think I can do Meta too. Yeah, I have a Meta chart right here. So Meta was pretty obvious. I know Cat's listening, and he and I were talking about this 707 level to be careful up there when it happened. And sure enough, that was a big rejection zone, the 1.414, and sent it much lower. It even lost my arc right here as well, and the blue level. So it could be in for some time to recover. But one thing we can't pay attention to is the Ichimoku cloud. It's inside, and it's also maintaining the 100-week moving average. It didn't even go back down to touch it, in fact. So it still has that potential to go back down to the 460s and go touch it. But right now it's inside the cloud, like a lot of things are, like the QQQ is in general. So the top of that cloud this week is around 537. 538, so it could just go stay inside the cloud for some time, but it's gonna get into a lot of resistance above pretty soon, and if it does go higher, because you got the 50-week moving average, you got the 1.272 fib at 573, you got the arc up here as well. You're gonna run into a lot of resistance. So my guess is uh, there's no point to have it the closer it gets to these 560s, 570s, because I think it might just do something like this and maybe go retest and stay in this cloud for a while until it figures stuff out. And that could be even until like June or even July, just staying inside that cloud. So I think there's probably better money elsewhere, like in crypto related stuff. And this just looks stuck for a while. So all I care about though mostly is stay inside the cloud, because if it stays inside this weekly cloud, it can eventually break through that resistance. But I don't know if it's really going to do it anytime soon. So got to just be patient with this one and watch these levels. And the closer it gets to the 560s, the more cautious I'll get.
Very nice. I pulled up my Robinhood chart here for peeps to look at. Thank you, Matt. So from this wave, this giant wave one top to the wave two bottom that we struck at $28.79 back here in April, it looks like it's gotten over this 23.6% fib a couple times. It kind of kept hitting this level right here and stopping. The market looks like it's really expecting big things. It doesn't have a lot of resistance right now yet. Once it gets past this sell order block of $46.37, I'm looking for at least $51.75, but it could go all the way to the 618. If it does, that'd be kind of scary, because a lot of times, if it goes to 618, it could still come all the way back down to the 236 afterwards. So just watch these levels one at a time. 51.75. If it gets over that, 58.84. If it gets over that, 65. Sorry, this is in the way. 93. But this is kind of what I'm looking for at minimum. 382, 236, 1236, which would give you a risk, potentially 3 top from where price is right now. So not a bad place to add with a stop below 42.97.
Okay, very good.
Cat's feeding me the lyrics to Toxic. He's trying to get me to sing it.
And I love what you do, don't you know? Okay, anyways, that's it. No
There
more.
you go.
No more.
That was good, Matt.
All right, AMD. Are we doing AMD? Did you do
Yeah, let's
AMD?
do
What's
AMD.
going on? Yeah.
No, we haven't done it
Yeah.
yet today.
AMD. I'm just watching a couple of things, and I think I've mentioned this numerous times on the show that all I really care about is the monthly cloud, right? And guess where it's at? It's back inside the monthly cloud pre-market, so we are fine, right? We're in a fine, acceptable range, and it's just turning into a long wick, and this is good. So the bottom of the cloud around $90. The 50% fib is at 94.73. The blue level of the GAN is right there at 97. So we are right in a support zone. Again, I'm not too concerned on this stock. It has been punished for a while, ever since March of 2024. So over 1 year, it's been in a downtrend, right? So I think it's coming to an end, and the proof will be maintaining this cloud. So I'll be watching that cloud as a support zone, not just this month, but for the months to come.
Yeah, and we had a question earlier about the market symmetry. I just want to point out this chart that Matt's showing you. See how in 2022 it made that top, and it came down in 2023 and made that bottom, and it basically did the oscillation around his 45-degree angle, and then we made a new higher high, and then a higher low, which also oscillates around that angle about the same amount. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about market symmetry, how things will oscillate around a particular, like an angle line like this, for example. So, if you see it go up about over the line, you might see it fall down that much below the line and then come back up again. So, let me show my little AMD chart here. So let's see. Last time we looked at this, looks like price was about the $89, and now we're like a little lower at $86. But despite that, it still looks like the same good risk reward. Just to get the 23.6 fib is still, it was resistance, resistance. It's going to be resistance again. Maybe it can break through this time. So let's see, from our prices right now to 116.76, and then to get to a minimum, I would expect it to at least get to 141.98, 63% higher from where it is now. And then it should hold that 116.76 as support after that. And so the rest of your wave 3 should go to this 123.6 fib at 289.49 or 100 and almost 150% higher. Why do I have 2 of these? Oh, I think I was trying to. Anyway, don't worry about that. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like a good risk reward from where it is right now, and your stop obviously should be below 76.48, the most recent low. Palantir,
All right.
MicroStrategy, and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can do one more, and then I'm gonna run away. So go ahead, tracker, choose wisely.
Okay. Well, let me do MicroStrategy short term because I need to be thinking about this myself. So MicroStrategy with this large, you need to go to the 8-hour chart. Where it topped out, this is your large degree wave 1 at 548.20, wave 2 bottom at 225. It was rejected at this 23.6% fib at 351, rejected, and breakthrough. So we're above it now. I would expect it to go to at least 429.30 for this 382% fib extension, which you can see has confluence with a bunch of sell order blocks up there. That's looking pretty promising. Maybe I should move this in a little closer. And yeah, you could see this, it could come back and check out support again at 351.22 after that, if the 429.30 is as high as it goes. But if it, a little bit, if it goes a little higher, 492 is next, then 555. And the most bullish that these usually get is the 633.60, but obviously you would see resistance at the previous all-time high before we ever got to that. Anyway, not to get ahead of myself, let's just look for 429.30 first. It could have already done the test back for this breakout. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Let me look in closer. And closer. It could still drop to 351.22 one more time, just to confirm it has support before moving forward, possibly. There you go, short-term MicroStrategy.
All right. And with that said, I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep. Tomorrow, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll post a Palantir chart publicly so you guys can get that for NAD. But yeah, we're bullish on Palantirs too. It's a very strong chart. All right, thanks, Matt. I will see you tomorrow morning with this new microphone.
Yes, I love it.
All right,
All right.
bye, everybody.